You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Amazon and iRobot, maker of the Roomba vacuum, have decided to scrap their merger because they believe there's no path to getting approval from regulators in the European Union. David Sapolsky, Amazon Senior Vice President and General Counsel, says the outcome will deny customers faster innovation and more competitive prices. Crude oil futures jumped after the attack that killed 3 U.S. troops in Jordan, but oil prices are little changed this morning. SoFi Technologies shares are jumping up nearly 15% after the online bank made a profit in the recent quarter. It provides everything from mortgages to student loans. Philips shares down 8%. It is halting CPAP machine sales in the U.S. as part of a settlement with the Department of Justice. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen model. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
How will the U.S. retaliate? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is the big question after the deadly attack on a U.S. base in Jordan. Iran-backed militants. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby tells NBC's Meet the Press.
We're taking a look real hard at what the options need to be for a response. And I won't get ahead of the president, but I can tell you that he takes very, very seriously our obligation to defend ourselves, our troops, and our facilities in the region.
That was NBC's Today Show, by the way, this morning. But Republican Senator Dan Sullivan tells Fox.
Well, I think our enemies certainly smell weakness out of the White House. There's no doubt about it.
Some GOP lawmakers want the U.S. to target Iran directly instead of the recent attacks hitting Iran-backed militants who've been targeting Americans in Iraq and Syria and Yemen well over 100 times.
3 American soldiers were killed, 34 wounded, and 8 medically evacuated, taken to Landstuhl in Germany. They were asleep at the time of the attack at a small outpost known as Tower 22, where 350 American troops are stationed, providing logistical support to the American special forces based across the border in Syria, part of the counter-ISIS fight.
That's Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon, where this hour Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin returns for the first time since a controversial hospitalization for prostate cancer surgery complications. Austin will meet with NATO leader Jens Stoltenberg, who keeps pushing the U.S. to give Ukraine more military funding in the fight against Russia. That's held up in Congress, where a group of Republicans and Democratic senators are trying to work out a border security compromise that other GOP lawmakers do not support, as House Republicans plan to move forward this week trying to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for allowing a record surge of illegal immigration. GOP Congressman Pat Fallon tells Fox.
He's violated the Immigration and Nationality Act 7-8 times over. And these articles spell that out.
Now, Democrats say it is a waste of time that is going to go nowhere in the Senate. America's listening to Fox News.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Markets are trembling. Don't be a casualty of economic upheaval. Do what I did and embrace the safety of gold. Talk to the experts at Noble Gold Investments today, and you can claim a free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin. With gold at an all-time high, you need to jump on this. Just use the promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on The Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman to save money.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
Dino's Pizza is like no other. It's family-owned and operated in the Acadiana area, serving the highest quality pizza on their signature crispy cracker-like crust. Make Dino's part of your family traditions, located at Bertrand and Collie Saloon.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. It is great to be with you on a Monday. Man, it's a lot better. We ain't overly cold. We're not overly wet. Just about right for winter here. The 60s are around 62 or 63 today. Maybe a little cold up north, but this feels more like good winter weather. That mess we've been having. Anyway, great to have you with us. As always, it's always fun. Monday, the best day of the work week. Get a chance to do it right. A lot of stuff, some national stuff mixed in, but definitely some stuff in the state of Louisiana. They're all back from Mardi Gras. So they're all back from having fun. That's where all the important people went. If you didn't go, you weren't important. No, I didn't go. But I got a lot of people call me back. They're talking about this, talking about that, and I've been hearing a bunch of stuff. But we'll see what happens with everything. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. If you want to be part of the program, you can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. You know, it's interesting. I'm watching Psycho Bill try to revamp to come back and win his Senate seat. He can't win in a closed primary. Cameron Henry saved his butt by putting a deal in there, and John Kennedy was for it too, and I guess Jeff agreed to it to let about 800,000 people that aren't registered to vote as any party, people that are really independent or no party like me, I'll get to vote in the Republican primary. I don't have to change, and I get to vote against Bill Cassidy again. I'm looking forward to voting against Bill Cassidy. The media, especially the devil's advocate, are trying to rebrandish him and redo him, and he's trying to remake over, but he can't make over with Republicans. If Republicans turn around and select Psycho Bill, we the losers. You know, I just think it's amazing how they're trying to revamp this guy. Tyler Bridges, the twit is trying to revamp. You can always tell who the people are that we ought to vote against. Watch Tyler Bridges and see who Bridges votes for and who he supports and who's the devil's advocate supporting. And you pretty much know people you need to get the heck away from. So in their run to try to build Cassidy back up, a man who came on this program for 7 years, who's scared to death to come on in to talk about some of these issues. They're making it sound like, but Cassidy's been such a great conservative. He voted for Donald Trump. It's amazing to watch how they try to rebuild up people that need to go home. Psycho Bill needs to go home. But they're going to try to build him up and through the media, and there'll be some fake Republicans like Scott Wilfong. I know Scott, been friends with Scott a long time. Scott Wilfong tries to beat every good conservative. He's a political consultant, whatever the hell he is. He tries to beat every good every good Republican, conservative Republican, and he always beats on the good ones. So they do this interview, uphill battle to win re-election for Psycho Bill, for Bill Cassidy. But the Republicans let the people at a no party, not the independents, but the no parties vote in the closed primaries. Now, here's a problem, and they even said in the article, because they talked to Fletcher and some other people, Roy Fletcher and some other people. And in this state, people like me that are no party got mad at the party are still really conservative. And most of these no party registrations, if you're registered an independent party, you're an independent party, you can't vote. I'm a no party guy. Okay? So I can vote in the Republican primary in 2026. And it doesn't matter if Daffy Duck or the Road Runner or the Coyotes on the ballot against Psycho Bill, I'm voting for him. And I can watch the devil's advocate in them try to build Bill Cassidy back up. Bill Cassidy lied to us when we told Bill Cassidy, don't vote to impeach President Trump. He said he heard us loud and clear because the first vote he made was to have the hearings. And we told him he voted for it. And he got his rear end tore up. And he said, I hear you. I hear you, I'm listening. And then he voted to impeach the man. That was the first of many. He's made a lot of bad votes. Let me tell you something. When I see Tyler Bridges and people like that, he voted 89% of the time with Trump. Those other 11% might have been the most important votes to take. That 11% might have been the most important votes you could take. Psycho Bill also voted for this infrastructure package that's causing everything to skyrocket by the printing of money. But they don't put all that in there. Matter of fact, when you read the article by the Twit, he didn't put a lot of things in here that I could put in this article. He only puts the twists and turns that you need to go. Bill's trying. He endorsed Jeff Landry, for God's sake. Well, on the flip side, the Twit, Tyler Bridges, and the Advocate beat up on Jeff Landry every day. But it's a good thing now. The paper beats up on Landry. Well, Jeff Landry, he endorsed Jeff Landry. Now it's a good thing all of a sudden. See, folks, they're all over the stuff. It's psychotic what I'm watching. For a time, it appeared the independent voters that Cassidy would need to win re-election in 2026 would be excluded from the closed primaries. In other words, the whole article is about how Republicans don't want him. I don't want Cassidy. They mentioned Higgins. They mentioned John Fleming running. I'll take either one of them. Never bat an eye because I don't think they're going to vote on a stupid way that Cassidy votes. Baton Rouge Senator Dr. stood no chance of winning a party primary of Republicans voters only, analysts said, especially if he faced the challenges like from U.S. Representative Clay Higgins, far-right firebrand with a strong following. Cassidy's been on the House Republican Party ever since he voted to convict former President Trump, inciting a January 6th riot. Yeah, we told him not to. He was the only Republican in the state. That means he's smart. That vote and two others to certify Joe Biden's presidential election led party censored and tanked the popularity with GOP voters. Folks, he's not welcome with GOP voters, except the dumb ones. And there's a lot of dumb ones. Unfortunately, there's really a lot of dumb ones. Roy Fletcher. Me and Roy have been friends with Roy for a long time. Roy's been watching this for a long time. So before he was on life support, they may have taken him off the ventilator. He may have a pulse here. In other words, because they let other people besides Republicans vote. That's hard to go out there and get the voters like me because I'm a vote in the Republican primary in 2026. I'm voting against Bill Cassidy. I shouldn't be able to vote. If I want to vote, I should have to go to the Republican Party. And I probably was until they threw this little wrench in it and screwed the whole thing up. Cassidy has attempted to rehabilitate himself among conservatives since breaking with Trump by bashing Biden and by endorsing Jeff Landry for the next governor's race. So there we go again. Jeff Landry, who's the enemy of the devil's advocate, they're happy about it. They want to let you know. Folks, the man's not sincere at all. So he gets reelected. What makes you think that Bill Cassidy won't do exactly what he did last time when he got reelected? What did he do? Turned on Trump, turned on the conservatives, went on national TV, CNN, MSNBC, over and over again, pounding on Donald Trump and conservatives. Now, all of a sudden, we get 3 or 4 years up the road, and Bill's one of us again. So when he wins, if he won in 2026 and 2027, what if Trump is the president? He's going to turn on Trump again? Remember what he told us? Y'all wait till y'all find out all the stuff about January 6th. We ain't found out nothing new. Cassidy has been a conservative leader on issues that Louisiana care about. Really? Really? Todd Bofferding, he looks forward to running on his record of delivering real solutions to problem facing Louisiana. Really? So what did he deliver? What solutions did he deliver for the state of Louisiana that we got better because of Psycho Bill being senator? I'd love for Mr. Bofferding to tell me that. Matter of fact, he can come with Psycho Bill when they come sit here and do the interview. He delivered solutions for Louisiana. Which one? Was it to help our insurance rates go down? Was it to fix our bridges and roads? What did Psycho Bill deliver for the state of Louisiana that this man can brag about? And as far as the pro-life thing, if you're not pro-life, you can't win in Louisiana. Anyway, as a Republican, I don't even count that. Fletcher says, see, folks, he cannot win in a Republican closed primary. Fletcher said the compelling question for him is what will drive people to the primary who want Republicans to vote for him. They better drive him because I'm one of them going to vote against him. I will not give in to him. He does not deserve to be given into. This guy traded. He's a traitor when it comes to Republican voters in the state of Louisiana. Scott Wilfong think everybody's going to be focused on old Garrett. I don't think so. And then Senate President Cameron Henry going back to the closed primary. No one wants to alienate 800,000 voters. That's not good for anybody. Cameron nutted up on us. Cameron, I'm one of those 800,000. You didn't disenfranchise me at all. If I wanted to be a Republican, I would be one. And then the last thing before we take a break, Fletcher and Greg Riggema, New Orleans-based Post, caution, however, Cassidy will face the challenge in winning the votes of political independents in Louisiana because many of them are Trump supporters. I'm one of them. Folks, don't let him rewrite the script on Psycho Bill. He made his own bed. He made his own bed. Let him lie in it. He wanted to act like he was a leftist. He's more friends with the left than he ever is to the center. You reelect him, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to let you down. Cassidy will let you down. I know this is 2 years, but I'm just letting you know. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Psycho Bill. It's a Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. I'm just telling you, y'all can vote for him. I'm not voting for Psycho Bill. I don't care if he runs against Humpty Dumpty. We'll be right back. You know, when you're selling your home, one of the most important things you can even consider is, does that person really care about you? You think, oh, they're selling everybody's home. Nicole Spellman Group, they really care about you as a person. They want you to sell your home because you want to be stress-free on this thing. And you can't get there if you don't have somebody you have confidence in. Nicole Spellman takes away the stress of selling your home. You know, you can say goodbye to the guesswork when it comes to selling your home if you go with Nicole Spellman Group. Why? They take the guesswork out of it. They have a system called a home value estimator. It's a game changer for sellers, no doubt about it. If you go to NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, right on the homepage under sellers, click on What's My Home Value? Enter your address and find out what your home is worth in 30 seconds. That's the value of using Nicole Spellman Group. You know, that's why I trust the number one team serving the entire state of Louisiana, the Nicole Spellman Group, to sell my home. Go online, NicoleSpellmanGroup.com, or just Google Nicole Spellman Group. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Mike Ear here for Rio.
Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice. Last thing on this. Bill Cassidy, if John Fleming or Clay Higgins runs, or both, Cassidy going to get beat pretty bad. He's going to get beat bad. If he doesn't get beat bad, we've lost our minds. Look, I don't know. He may be the nicest guy in the world. I'm just telling you, he's a type guy that you elected him. And then we elected him again. And all them votes with Trump was one thing, but look what he's done since. He's trying to beat up on Biden now. The question is to ask, somebody needs to go ask Psycho Bill. Bill, what if it comes down to Biden and Trump in the election? I don't think it will. But let's say, who are you voting for? He told us he'll never vote for Donald Trump. He told us that. Somebody needs to ask who you can vote for. If it's Donald Trump, are you voting for him, Bill? In August, Cassidy was one of 19 Republicans who joined all Assembly Democrats and voted for Biden's $1.3 trillion infrastructure bill. It put him out of step once again with 6 other Republican Louisiana congressional delegates. They all voted no. Bill was the only smart one. He helped draft a bill so he can get all his money to the state of Louisiana so he can run up with Edwards. They even talk about this. They invite Cassidy to appear with them before cameras and inaugurate projects funded by the bill. Cassidy was right there, proving how left he was. Yet, Psycho Bill wants to run. He also introduced a bill early in the month. No federal Medicaid dollars can go to undocumented aliens. So he's trying to line up. Everything he's trying to do now is to be good because people don't remember stuff. How many of you people go change your minds about Cassidy? Just asking. Scott Wilfong has. Of course, Wilfong's the guy that likes to beat up very good Republicans. He said, no doubt Cassidy's stronger this January than last January. He's not. He's not any stronger now than he ever was. I'm not saying Fleming or Higgins is going to run. I'm just telling you their names have been thrown out there. Riggamore, who's a post a caution that many of these unaffiliated voters are very conservative, likely not to support Cassidy. Those voters, Riggamore said, don't belong to the Republican Party because they think it's too establishment. I'm one of them. And I'm telling you, I have not met many people that are not registered, people that are registered as no party that are not conservative. Hey, Bill, I'm coming, vote. I'm voting against you. I'm saying right now, no matter what you do, I'm voting against you because I don't trust you. You proved it last time. When you won is when you turned on us. We asked you not to do what you did, and you told us go to hell. I just got elected new senator. I don't need the conservative. I don't need the Republicans. You can't forget that, folks. That's what Cassidy did. He won. Once he won, he was Trump. And as soon as he won, he said, I can do anything I want to do. Y'all can't touch me for 6 years. And that's why I can do it, and nobody's going to remember, and I'm going to come back and win in 6 years. I'm just telling y'all, you got to be able to trust him when he gets elected again, not to do what he did the last time. Turn against what everybody asked him not to do in this state. Don't impeach Trump. And he told us, I got it. I'm listening. He wasn't listening. Cassidy's not going to listen, folks. Cassidy is not going to listen. He's not going to listen. Psycho Bill's his own guy. I'm just telling you, he's not going to listen. He'll take your votes. He'll get elected. But when that's over, he's going to do what he wants to do. He proved that. He cannot be trusted. He can't be trusted. Why would you elect somebody who can't be trusted? I'm just asking. Who does that? I'm not going to do it. Y'all can do it. I'm not doing it. Take a break. Be right back. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes, dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it their goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem, we got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com, and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name, All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say all, ALLfield.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, and over 50 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. They're in the oil and gas business. You keep production up so you can yield as much profit as possible, right? All Field Equipment Incorporated is where you can find the all field equipment you need for maximum production. Their shop is in Broussard, Louisiana. It serves Ark-La-Tex region. Over 35 years of industry experience, we have what it takes to keep your business in motion. We understand the importance of keeping your wells pumping and flowing, and that's why we offer a wide range of all-field equipment to ensure that your production runs smoothly. We're the only all-field supply company in Louisiana with production equipment knowledge, of open 24/7, one of the largest supporters of bottled water in the Gulf. All-field can repair any and all production valves and controllers. Allfieldequipment.com. ALLfieldequipment.com. When you think about how...
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
welcome back. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice, you can also email me, moon@moongriffon.com, to make your comments. We try to put them on as much as we can. So I just got a text from Mr. Boffering, because I said Bofering. It's Boffering. And I think I'm saying it right now. He texted me. And he said I could have read the full quote. So let's read the full quote. I'm a nice guy. Cassidy has been a conservative leader on issues that Louisiana care about: illegal immigration, rebuilding our roads and bridges, having A+ rated pro-life groups, and giving parents a choice in their children's education, said Mr. Boffering. He looks forward to running on his record of delivering real solutions to the problem facing Louisiana families. So, real solutions to problems we face. What did he fix? Roads and bridges are fixed. I mean, this is absolutely crazy for this guy to be running on stuff he didn't do. So what he wants to do now is run around and hand out checks. In other words, Psycho Bill has become Santa Claus. Let me see. He's going to beat up on Biden for the rest of this year. And 2 more years to run. He's basically got 3 years before he has to run. 24, 25, 20, all this year, all next year, and then all of 26. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the world's going to be like in 2026. Nobody does. But I will not be voting for Psycho Bill. I think this guy's all over the place, and that's why I nicknamed him that. He is. He's best friends of liberal Democrats. And they are. And so y'all do what you want with him. Y'all may think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't see that. Nobody believes that in the Republican Party. I can't find anybody but the Scott Wilphones of the world that think he's worth a flip. And remember, after he won, he did all this stuff he did to us after he won. So if he wins this time and Michelle Obama's the president, he's going to be cutting deals with Michelle and the gang on the left. I think he will. But we'll see what happens. All right. So there was other articles that apparently, well, not apparently, they did. Jeff and them put out the committees and what they came up with. They put together all these different committees in different areas. Constitution, roads and bridges, economy, income tax, all that stuff. They put all that stuff out there, and they all do it. They all get these committees together, and then they get the consensus, and they come up with a report. So one of the reports, Jeff Landry Transition Committee calls for phasing out corporate and personal income tax. Now, I saw the headlines, and when I saw the headlines, I said, before I read any further than just the headlines, I would be willing to bet the take on it from the media and from the devil's advocate would be, how are you going to replace the money? How are you going to replace the money from the income tax? And I'd be in the subtitle. Jeff Landry Transition Committee calls for phasing out corporate and personal income tax. How would the state pay for revenues lost? The report doesn't explain. See, the media concentrates on one thing, spending. How much can we spend? That's all they concentrate on. You know, but folks, this is another area we need to take a big step, but watch how many people beat it down because we don't want to take any big steps in nothing. Because the media is always there to rescue them. Always there to rescue the politicians who don't want to change the state. All right, let's take a call. 844-766-6607, Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Go to Tim in Shreveport. Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you this morning?
Doing fine, sir.
What I want to ask you about is, they approved the Jimmy Davis Bridge. They're going to build another bridge next to the one they have. But did you hear about the park they're going to build in between the two bridges?
No, I hadn't kept up with it at all. And I'm not even. Oh, I'm still waiting to see if they actually build a bridge. You know, I hear that stuff, but I never see it.
Well, supposedly they're supposed to start on it, and they're talking about building a park in between two bridges. which doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
I just want to get your thoughts on that.
I don't. You know what? When it comes to spending taxpayer dollars, I'm not surprised. I'm just not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to. If you got to build a bridge, fine. That's part of government. But the park,
right?
I won't understand the parks being built. Why didn't they get the private sector to build the parks if they're going to be so good? I don't understand. That part I would never understand.
Well, I do have one more question for you. What if opponent for Cassidy is worse than Cassidy, or might be worse than Cassidy?
Say that again.
You said you wouldn't vote for Cassidy again.
No, I'm not.
And what if he gets a Democrat to run against him? That's going to be a lot worse.
I'm going to let you guys vote on it, but here's the problem. I'm not talking about when you get to the final vote against a Democrat. What I'm talking about, Tim, is in the closed primaries, the somewhat closed primaries. So that way he's going to be facing other Republicans. John Fleming's name's been out there. He's from your area. Clay Higgins has been. I know other people that names are being mentioned for that position. That's where Cassidy will get smoked. He will never get a chance to run he will never get a chance to run for Senate. You see what I'm saying? With closed primaries, it's going to be one Republican and one Democrat. And I don't see any way Cassidy can get to be the Republican nominee the way it's set up.
Well, I guess I'm going to be screwed because I'm an independent. I've been an independent since
Hold up. Let me ask you a question. When you say you're independent, see, I'm a registered no party. We used to say independent. There's now in the last few years they came up with this independent party. So if you signed up in the independent party, you cannot vote. But if you're a no party like me, I can go up and vote in the Democrat or the Republican closed primary. So I'll be able to go into the closed primaries and vote on the Republican side. So if you got this is what I tell people: be careful. There was these goofballs that came up with an independent party. But if you're a no party, that means you're not involved in a party. There's 662,000 of us. We are not in a party. Most of them are conservative Trump-type voters. You can vote in the Republican primary. So you just need to check your registration.
So what I need to do is go to a no party.
Yeah, you just go to a no party, then you get a chance to vote. If you want to vote for Cassidy, you can. But this is 2026 now. We're in 2024.
Right.
If the presidential primary race in March is a Republican presidential primary race, you have to be a Republican to vote in that one this March. That's closed primaries.
If
That's
you're from Louisiana.
Yeah, and that's most all states are like that.
Are they?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to have to look into that, and I'm probably going to go to a no party because I know I don't want to be a Democrat.
Well, like I said,
I don't have nothing to do with being a liberal.
Don't register with the independent party. Don't.
Well, I already have. I've been an independent.
Yeah, but like I said,
they started the party.
Listen, Tim, I tell people I'm independent, but I'm not in the independent party. How long ago did you switch to independent?
I can't remember, but it was a long time ago.
But see, it might have been before they came up with an independent party. On my card, it says no party. Either listen, this is easy. Call or go down to the registrar's office and say, I want to see how I'm registered, and they'll tell you. You may walk up since you did a long time ago. There was not an independent party till, 8, 10 years ago, 5, 8, 10, whatever the time was. So if you did it 15, 20 years ago, you're probably a no party.
Well, I have a card in my pocket, so I'll check it first, and if it doesn't say no party, I'm going to have to call and see what I have to do to switch over.
Oh, it's nothing. You go to registration, you do a switch over, you sign a deal, sign it over, and they put you wherever you want to go. That's that easy.
I know it's no problem. I used to, Ernie Roberson used to be the register of voters up here, and he's a good friend of mine, but he's no longer, the register of voters. He retired. He got tired of the whole mess, so he just retired. But I'm gonna check into that, and I'm gonna take your advice and go to the no party.
Yeah, well, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just telling you what I'm doing.
No, I know that. I know.
I'm not asking anybody to lead the Republican Party. I got a lot of friends in the Republican Party. That's not what I'm asking people to do. I'm just telling you if you're registered, make sure you're registered as a no party, not independent. Because if you're independent, you're in their party. What the hell they stand for, I don't know. But you're in the independent party. But the no party is what I am.
And by being a no party and being closed primary, you vote for Republican
or Democrat.
In
2026. I'll be voting against Bill Cassidy.
I'm glad you mentioned that this morning because I don't always get to hear your show. But I was out running errands for my wife, and I listen to 710 Kill, and I don't listen to anything else. That's the only thing I listen to is 710 Kill.
All right, brother.
Because I don't care about music. I don't like to get information about the political appeal.
All right, man. Look, I got to go just because of time. Tim, thank you for the call. Okay. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607 is the number. We'll be right back. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is strived to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwoods stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see their stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. Their corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
If you've been injured.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. That means it could be you, your best man, your worst man. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline, if you'd like to be part of the program. You can email me, moon@moongriffon.com. People are starting to ask me, who is Cassidy voting for Republican president in the primary? If I go by everything he said, it ain't Trump. It looks like, unless something takes place, and anything can happen between now and then. Remember, the convention is when they elect the nominee for Democrat and Republican. And the convention is when they're going to elect who's going to be on the ballot for President of the United States. So the question is Bill going to support Biden, Michelle Obama? Who's going to support? I mean, don't y'all think we ought to know this? Wouldn't surprise me at all if he said, no, we're going to support the president. You know, I don't agree with everything he says, but because Bill is kissing up. They're just not going to, it's just not going to be surprised. Somebody said, Moon, I hadn't seen all the details of the independent party platform, but what I know of it is not conservative. No, it's not at all. I assume your caller wouldn't agree with a lot of their platforms. No, it's not the best platform, I can promise you. That's why I tell people all the time, if you're going to stay Republican, stay Republican. But if you want to leave, just do the no party. Don't get into the independent party. I'm independent. Well, I'm not independent. I used to say that too. I'm not independent. I'm no party. Thought I was going to be back in the Republican Party to this. Cameron Henry and them screwed that up. Anyway, so Landry's transition committee calls for phasing out corporate and personal income tax. Remember, that's why I thought closed primaries was so important, because it was a big step, gigantic step. I think, and I've told y'all before, we need a lot of big steps. So phasing out the corporate and personal income tax, the first thing the media looks at is, oh, God, we ain't going to be able to spend. How your state's going to pay for the revenue loss? We got to be able to spend this money. So the other day, Jeff had an executive order to deal with the deficit that's coming, and it's coming. Hayride did a great piece on it. You're not going to see that in the Advocate, because they're going to keep writing, oh, no, Bell left us with all these surpluses. It's not a surplus, folks. You just wait till reality sits in. And so Jeff Landry, Governor Landry, said, well, we're going to now do an executive order and make people start looking at their spending, see what we can cut to make up for a $64 million deficit, which would be $1 billion one day. What's wrong with policing? But see, the media doesn't care about that. They want to know how much they can spend. They only care about the spending side. They never care about the revenue side unless you're doing something like income taxes. Then it's, well, how are we going to make up for that revenue? And I knew they would do this because they do this every time. Everything we want to change, they're going to be negative to it, because the media and the devil's advocate and people like them love the trajectory of the state. They love being last. They love that our kids are leaving. They don't care. So they don't want to change anything. Folks, change is hard. I'm not saying it's not. It's hard for me. I don't like change either. They have an opportunity to change the state and put it in the right direction. We voted for 2/3 in the House and Senate Republicans and Jeff Landry, and we want them to do something different, do something big, change the state. But the media and the good old boy network, we saw it in a special session, is not going to go away without fighting and crying about it. It said they looked at the committee. The committee provides no plan for how to offset the huge hit in the state treasury by eliminating the income tax, corporate franchise tax, and another recommendation. How about we quit spending so much money? How about we quit depending so much on the federal government? How about this is what they don't understand. It's simple. Ronald Reagan proved it. If you create an economy where people have money and businesses can prosper, then you can do more business. More people are going to move here. More people are going to work here. Guess what? You got more money in the state coffers and sales tax and every other tax you can imagine, because you're doing business. How can Tennessee and Texas and Florida have no state income taxes? Mississippi and Arkansas are moving that way. How do they make it? Because what they did, they created a state that is prospering. They created a state that's growing. We don't have that. You can't tell a devil's advocate. You can't tell John Joy. You can't tell Bell Edwards. You couldn't tell these so-called leaders in the state that you have to change things. But they don't want to change nothing. Something as little as closed primaries, which it's a big jump, but it's the lowest hanging fruit of all. We can't even get them to do that without them fussing and bickering about it. The Transition Committee reports blame Louisiana antiquated and complex tax system for stopping investment and job creation. Look why can these other states have good roads, a third of the insurance we pay, jobs, people leaving? How can they have that and we don't? Because we're not doing what they do. So we try to go do what they're doing, and what happens? The media, the good old boy network, the people that made this state last, who are prospering don't want to change their gravy trains. I'm surprised somebody in the media doesn't have a half a brain. Bridges, Finn, Jordan George is supposed to be this big business guy, made most of his money in alcohol, booze, and gambling. How come these people don't realize this? We're not fixing roads. We're not creating jobs. We're not letting businesses grow here. We're not lowering our health insurance and car insurance and vehicle insurance. We're not doing anything. So now here comes a governor and the 2/3 Republicans, House and Senate. If they don't want to really change and make the necessary changes to make, we're not going to get any better. They all worried, we ain't about to spend as much as we were. Who was this? The Tax Foundation. While our total tax burden is competitive with our neighbors, our tax structure is not. 40th in the latest in the Tax Foundation rankings. Report said, referring to conservative Washington, D.C.-based group, while it is a complex underfunding, it is possible to quickly end this. Okay, trend and join our neighbors in prosperity. We must look to other states, southern states, and identify where they get it right and where they get it wrong. That's right, that's just what I said. But you got the media and the good old boy network, Craig Romero's of the world, Moneybags come in. That's the way we always done it. So we always do it wrong. You get bad solutions, and you don't change. That's insanity. That's what we're fighting. We're fighting the insanity of the system. That's why I was so disappointed in half-ass Cameron Henry. You know, half-ass Henry screwed that up. Shouldn't have messed that up, but he did. All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1.
Show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
It's time to hit Iran directly. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what some Republicans in Congress are saying is retaliation for the attack on a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 3 American troops, blamed on Iran-backed militants. GOP Senator Dan Sullivan tells Fox.
The way you reestablish deterrence with Iran is to follow the Trump administration playbook.
President Biden saying the U.S. shall respond at a time and in a manner of our choosing. Since the Hamas attacks on Israel and the war in Gaza on October 7th, American military installations in Iraq and Syria have been targeted more than 150 times. Sundays was the first to result in the loss of American lives.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Speaking of that October Hamas terror attack, the U.S. and 10 other countries have cut off funding for the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency. 12 of its workers are accused of being involved in that attack that triggered the war in Gaza, Israel alleges.
One UN staffer kidnapped an Israeli woman. One UN staffer raided an Israeli kibbutz and participated in violence. And one UN staffer doled out ammunition to Hamas fighters.
That's Fox Business Network's Madison Allworth outside the UN in New York. NATO leader Jens Stoltenberg is at the Pentagon, pressing the U.S. to give Ukraine more military aid, which is still held up in Congress. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin just praised him.
Over the nearly 2 years since Putin's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, NATO has grown stronger
and more united than ever.
This is Austin's first day back at the Pentagon since a controversial hospitalization the White House didn't know about for days for prostate cancer surgery complications. Britain's King Charles has just left the London hospital where he had prostate cancer surgery Friday, the same place Princess Kate had abdominal surgery.
But the exact medical need hasn't been made public. She's now back home in Windsor, just outside London, where she's expected to spend several months recuperating.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage in London. America's listening to Fox News.
A massive data leak, being called the mother of all breaches, has been announced. Billions upon billions of records with sensitive data from previous breaches, newly stolen data, and privately sold databases have been exposed. Cybercriminals can use this information to commit identity theft. Help protect yourself and join the millions who trust LifeLock. LifeLock detects identity threats and alerts you if your information is being used. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Every day, Mark fights retinitis pigmentosa, a blinding retinal disease. But even while his vision is taken, his family gives him hope. Because whether he's helping run their business or enjoying time at home with his wife and sons, Mark knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding diseases, providing real hope to those fighting vision loss. And our nationwide community of local chapters provides networking and support for people with vision loss, as well as their loved ones. Because the best way to fight against blinding diseases is to fight together. And for Mark, winning the fight against vision loss means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Learn more about how you can help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Your drive time is live and local. Hey, folks, it's me, Joe Cunningham, and my show, The Joe Cunningham Show, airs every day from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. You can get it all. News and commentary you can't get from anywhere else on the local, state, and national level, plus your calls and your comments through our KPEL app chat. It's a fun drive home here on the Joe Cunningham Show, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Great to have you with us. Hour number 2 of the Moon Griffon Show. Man, look at that sunshine. Got people cutting grass. Gee whiz, cutting grass in January. Tell you something, when I get December, January, I ain't cutting no grass. I laugh. People out there cutting grass in January. I just thought, holy, I guess it grows in some places. Mine dies like a dog for this time of year. And but I see people cutting grass all the time. I just talked to my brother the other day. I said, you cutting your grass? He said, heck no. I talked to your uncle, Steve. You cutting grass? Hey, so I'll start cutting grass, but it looks awfully bad because I know once I start cutting it, you got to keep cutting it. Mine's so dead. I mean, just dead right now. But look at that cat over there, man. He's going 50 miles an hour, cutting grass in the dead of winter. Man, I'm glad I don't have to do that yet. I actually don't mind cutting it, but I don't want cutting the dead of winter. Buddy just, as soon as it dries, I got to cut mine. Golly. Woo! Glad I ain't got to mess with that right now. All right, 844-766-6607. It's amazing as I'm reading this stuff about, we ain't going to do anything big, folks, unless Jeff Landry really pushes and we got the guts in the legislature. Man, we got so many big things to move on. We got a special crime session coming up. Better do something big. I don't want to hear we made a step in the right direction. We heard that from Bell a bunch. But I'm kind of laughing a little bit too when I look at some of this stuff. I just laugh. You would with me, you'd say, "Who's laughing by himself?" Well, because as we talk about, we got to know how much how much money we gonna lose. We got to keep spending this money. How much revenue we gonna lose? We continue to lose our population. So they did another piece. A guy named Mark Van Landingham of The Advocate, guest columnist, what's driving Louisiana population loss and what's not. And it talks about the population loss. There was 2 or 3 stories. I'll be honest with you, I didn't have the heart to read them because I'm sick of talking about them. I just glanced at a couple of them. Continued population loss will lead to less representation in college and decline political relevance. Well, we used to have 8 representatives and 2 senators. Now we got 6 and 2 senators. 2030, we definitely going to have 5. Failure to attract and retain young families will lead to an increasingly older and frail populace. It's like The Advocate is just figuring this out. But they don't want to change nothing. They don't want to change primaries. They don't want to change budgets. They don't want to change the way we do taxes. They don't want to change the way we do insurance. They don't want to change the way we do anything. Everything we got to change, the media's going to beat back on Landry and the rest of the group. It's coming. I'm telling y'all it's coming. And then all of a sudden we do another story on everybody leaving. You don't make any changes, they're going to continue to leave. But they don't want to make any changes. That's cuckoo. That's nuts. That's nutting up. To correct our current negative trajectory. Aha! That's a word I've been using a lot with Bell Edwards for 8 years. He kept the trajectory negative in the wrong direction, and now we got more money to stay in the wrong direction. See, when we got a lot of money, folks, everybody's happy. The people making money in the good old boy network system, they're happy. Government's happy. And, we got to please government no more than we need to please the private sector, although the private sector are the ones that are leaving. To correct our current negative trajectory, we must quickly and correctly identify the major reasons underlying our problems. Let me give it to you. It's called jobs. It's called jobs. But to get jobs, you have to have a great business climate. You have to cut and lower your taxes. You got to make it where people can make money here, where businesses can do business here. This ain't hard. I've been talking about it for 30 years. Why is this so hard to the people who don't want to change the state like the devil's advocate? You tell me they got more people buying the Advocate today than they did 30 years ago. Nobody even buying a rag. You tell me. But all of a sudden, they're writing stories. The South is an outlier to other regions when regard to population trends. Really? I didn't know that. God, that's surprising. Shocking. Shocking we losing people. Our region is enjoying sustained population growth while other regions are stagnant at best. The problem is Louisiana is an outlier in the South. Nearly all of our neighbors experience substantial growth while we're in steady decline. Why? And this is where it gets comical. Okay? It's where it gets comical. Because listen to me. I told you what the problem is. It's jobs and business climate and people being able to make a hell of a living. Not to them. Here's what they say. The states that invest heavily in the core areas concerned for young adults. You ready? Education. We put so much money in education, it ain't been funny. Child care. People that make money, they don't need nobody to help them with the child care. People that make money don't need them to help them with their health care. Housing and health care. People that make good money can, listen, the first thing they said was jobs. Education, child care, housing, and health care. The government has nothing to do with jobs except making it an unfriendly business climate. Education, government, child care, government, housing, government, health care, government. How's the government going to do all this stuff? I mean, think about what I'm saying, folks. Everything that the paper's saying is we need to invest in government. Bella was told us when we got Medicaid, that was going to be Medicaid expansion, 19,000 new jobs. I laughed then. I thought, hell, it's all going Medicaid. We get our 200,000 new jobs, good paying jobs. So the idea for us to change what we're doing is it is about jobs, private sector jobs. Baby, folks, y'all realize we pay more K through 12 than anybody in the South per student. Way more. We're way above the average. Child, if you have a good job, Louisiana's a good proof to this. They will get their kids educated. They can afford child care if they got kids. I got a kid with 2 twin, beautiful little baby boys. And they love their pops. Well, at least I think they do. They got child care. Why? Because they got jobs. Not worried about child care. Housing. They're not worried about housing. They bought a house because they have jobs. And they got health care because they have a job. But this is the ignorance of the media trying to tell you what needs to be done, and everything is government investment. Each backward step we take in these areas receive major coverage of the national press, another shot in our proverbial and collective foot. Well, let's do something big to change it. Closed primaries would have been big. Getting rid of the income tax is big. Getting rid of corporate taxes is big. Well, we can't do it. We can't afford to lose the revenue. We can't afford not to. Folks, if you're competing, Lord have mercy. Walk, you like sports. Jaden Daniels, pretty good quarterback, wasn't he? Really good. LSU had a good football team. They had a really good football team. You think that'd beat the? You think they could beat the Kansas City Chiefs?
No.
You think they could beat the San Francisco 49ers?
No.
You think they can beat any NFL team?
No.
Why? Because they're not compete. They don't have the players to compete. I'm making a point. In the state of Louisiana, we don't compete with these other deals. Your friends are getting ready to leave. You're 22. They're getting ready to leave for new jobs. You probably already lost some. My point being is they can't compete because they don't have the players to compete with. They're not at that level. Would you agree?
Yes.
I mean, as good as we think some of these players, Jaden Daniels can probably be a good pro quarterback, but everybody on that team ain't pro-worthy.
No.
The same thing to do with this. They want to compete, and they say we keep getting laughed, but you put LSU in the NFL next year, LSU going to be 0-17. And we like LSU. They're going to be 0-17 if they play in the NFL. And they're going to probably get bombed in almost every game. The Carolina Panthers are going to beat them by 40. Folks, so how do you compete, and how do you quit doing what you're doing is quit doing what you're doing. You got to do something different. If LSU wanted to compete, they need to get an NFL franchise where they can draft NFL college players and get free agents. Then they can compete. But we got to make it fair to compete. We don't compete because we got income taxes out the wazoo on all of our taxes. Our business taxes, unfriendly business, especially to the young people, especially to the small businesses. We don't compete. We don't compete because we're not in their league. But to get in that league, you got to do something big. And we don't want to do anything big. So how do we compete? We keep listening to the media and the good old boy network. Something as simple as closed primaries would have changed things. Wise state and local policy plugs large sustained investment in our urban economic engines, New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Housing sector for young families. Healthcare sector for children and young adults. Education system. Institutions of higher learning can turn the tide on current population trend, making Louisiana highly sought after. No. Hell no. You better start getting some jobs in here. If you don't get any jobs in here, you don't create a business climate where people can make money and make a good living, you can do all that. We got a good enough education system that our kids are smart enough to leave. These people, everything is government. The whole thing is government. Wait till the federal government says, we can't send y'all no more money. It's amazing. It's amazing. The answer is always, we need some more government money. We got, our budget under Bel Air went from 29 to 54. It ain't better. Not one thing's better. You know what the answer is into the advocate? Let's keep doing what we've been doing. Well, we're going to keep writing stories on population loss. Take a break. It's just crazy. They don't change anything because we don't change anything. Unbelievable. Anyway, we take a break. Be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks. Oh, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Oh, serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
Head over to I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Let's jump gears. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. We're joined by Mr. John Isaac. I'm sorry. What? Jason Isaac. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Jason, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Moon. Great to be back on the show. It's been a couple months.
Yeah, I know, man. And I got something confused on my little write-up over here, so it's all on me. Anyway, Energy American Institute and Louisiana World Economic Forum, they trying to shut everything down but electricity, I guess, huh?
Yeah, they don't know where electricity comes from. And, John Kerry's out there flying around the world on his private jets that are, using jet fuel made in China in a refinery powered by coal. And that oil's coming from Iran, and it's funding terror all over the world. This Bidenomics that we're living through is a nightmare. I
wish John Kerry would fly the first electric plane for about 9 to 10 hours. It'd probably be pretty good for it. I know, but what's sad is, our energy is basically the fossil fuel industry. That's it. And by the way, most affordable, cleanest, cheapest. Jason, and the thing about it is, cheap energy and cheap food is what makes the United States of America kick. And we're getting ready to have neither. Food is outrageous, and they're getting ready to make our energy prices soar as they constantly tell people they're going to lower the price. How can they lower the price with electricity and carbon capture and windmills and solar panels? I mean, this is the dumbest thing I've ever even read about in my life.
I had a congressman call me the carbon king because I was testifying, and I told him I live a high-carbon lifestyle, and the rest of the world should, too. It's truly where you have economic prosperity. Places that have high energy consumption are the wealthy places on the planet. There is not a single wealthy country that is a low-energy-using country. And we produce energy and food in this country more responsibly than anywhere else on the planet, and we should be exporting that around. But, Biden, there's been a reduction of fertilizer plants 70% in Europe.
Wow.
They've stopped producing fertilizer. Well, fertilizer has given us this ability to multiply the amount of food grown 4 to 5 times in the same amount of space that we were using 100 years ago. That's feeding more people. And guess what Europe needs? They need natural gas.
Yep.
And guess where they can get that natural gas from? The Gulf Coast, from Louisiana. He just killed 3 LNG export terminals planned for Louisiana. Where do you think that capital is going to go? That money's going to say, well, we're not going to sit around and wait for the Biden administration. We're not going to sit around and wait for the government. We're going to go someplace else. We're going to go to Venezuela, Guyana. They'll go to the Saudi Arabians. And they'll produce that LNG there, and it'll be more expensive, and they don't care about human rights or the environment in those countries.
Hey, Jason Osling, my special guest, Energy American Institute. Jason, think about it. I don't think people, maybe we're not hurting enough, as I hear my friend Dan Bongino say. Maybe we're not hurting enough. But, man, every time I look at these cold, icy days, which we're going to have them, we've had them before you and me were ever thought. We're going to have them when you and me are gone. And you see all this cold, and I'm thinking, how are these people warming up in these frigid temperatures? And it's got to be because of oil and gas. Got to be.
No, you're absolutely right. And coal, we produce that. We need more coal in this country, but they've just demonized it since Obama, saying it's bad, it's dangerous. It's absolutely not, because we use pollution control technology in this country. We have bag houses and scrubbers that we use on asphalt plants and concrete plants, and places that produce things that we like to consume are capturing the stuff. That's why we've improved our air. We've reduced pollution nearly 80% over the last 5 decades. And you look just in the winter storm that we had earlier this month, just a couple of weeks ago, what was operating the best was our coal, our natural gas, and our nuclear electricity. A 95% reliability rate compared to solar. Over half the time it was producing 0 electricity just a couple of weeks ago during the cold spell. In wind was barely coming in at 20 to 30%. People like to say, oh, we've got 35% of our electricity comes from renewables. And I always ask them, what about when people need it most, when they've got a threat of freezing to death? Yep. Well, we really don't show up then because the wind doesn't blow as much and the sun's not shining. But you know what shows up? The stuff that works? Natural gas, coal, and nuclear. And we need a lot more of it in this country. And we've just got to get the government out of our way, and we'll produce it.
Jason, hold your thoughts. I'm going to take a break. We'll come back and do another segment with you. By the way, folks, listen up. Don't read the newspaper and listen to them university professors. We'll be right back. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, You look up, you're in the middle of the night, you're looking, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends, they open at night, they can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fracture, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You know, you can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast. As I told you, folks, and I've been talking about the Good Feet store, I got to tell you, you don't know until you go. And they suggest come into the Good Feet store. If you're having any kind of pain, people have, and I heard people that, well, I bought this shoe and I bought that shoe. I tried this mess. I tried it. It didn't work. You owe it to yourself to go to the Good Feet store. I did. And I'm going to tell you what, it instantly changed my pain in my ankles and my hip. I'm telling you right now, the Good Feet store with their Good Feet arch is different than anything you've been using. You need to just walk in. They take all comers. Here's the good news. You think, am I going to have to buy new shoes? How about bring your own shoes? I brought my own shoes, and I'm wearing my own shoes. The difference is I got a Good Feet arch in my shoe now, which is making a difference. Yes, I'm working out, still walking my 10 miles a week. I'm still lifting weights, and I'm still fishing. And I got the Good Feet arch support now, which is going to make it so much better for me. Hey, if you think you tried everything, you hadn't tried everything because you hadn't walked into a Good Feet store. Good Feet store, one right here in Lafayette and Baton Rouge. They want to see you.
What's dangerous and stupid and can cost you $25,000? Excavating without calling Louisiana One Call. So dial 811 before you dig. It's the law.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. My friend Jason Isaac joins us in the American Institute. Hey, Jason, am I wrong by saying, I got a couple things for you. When I say cheap food and cheap energy, clean energy, it's made America great. We can fight wars. You can go to work. We can fly anywhere. We can drive anywhere. We can take care of our business. We can feed our families. And we've always had that. Soon as Biden and them came along and they started printing money, we're doing infrastructure bills and all that stuff, this thing is getting out of hand. Well, man, the cost of food is outrageous, and it's probably going to get worse. But as I see energy move to what they want, it becomes scarce. It goes to the cost of it is way higher than what we're going to anticipate. They're not telling anybody that right now. Am I wrong by saying
No, they're
that?
not. No, you're spot on, Moon. I work in an area called ESG. It's this environmental, social, and governance scoring that the World Economic Forum and these coastal elites like Larry Fink at BlackRock and John Kerry and Al Gore are pushing on companies. whether you're a farm or an energy producer. Basically, if you produce food that helps human flourishing, they're trying to push back. Well, I call ESG what it does to energy and food. It makes it expensive, scarce, and government controlled. And that's what's happening. When you're getting fertilizer plants shut down all along Europe because they don't have natural gas, you think that America would come to the rescue of our allies and say, you know what, we have a lot more than any other place in the world, natural gas, and we can liquefy it and get it exported out of the Gulf of Mexico and right over to our European allies to help them up with their prosperity. You know, it was President Obama that said prices would necessarily skyrocket with the Clean Power Plan. And that's exactly what's happened. It's estimated that food will go up another $1,300 if they keep implementing these Green New Deal policies in the Biden administration. All that does is help China. I call the ESG agenda the China ESG agenda because it doesn't shift demand unless you start getting rid of humans, which I really think is maybe their goal.
Yeah.
It just shifts production to places that could care less.
Well, you know, since COVID and Biden and COVID, and everything has become how the government can do stuff for you. And the printing of money and energy is so important. They've never got their hands on energy. And I think one of the ways they're doing it, Jason, you may not agree with me, and you're welcome to stop me too, is they come up with stuff like carbon capture, which is a nothing burger. I'm sorry, I think that's a nothing burger. But I know a lot of energy companies have jumped on it because they want the money that comes with it. But that's also an opportunity for the federal government to get their hands on the thing they hadn't been able to control yet, which is energy. They can control the banks. They can control the hospitals. They control other things. But they've never been able to get their hands on energy. This is how they're getting on energy. Convince people that we are burning the planet up. And I blame the universities more than anybody for coming up with something so diabolical as telling us we're burning the planet up. Absolutely stupidity. But people bought into it. Some people have anyway.
No, you're right. You talk about decarbonization, and I'm looking at something today about these low-emission vehicles or zero-emission school buses, and they're zero-emission because they're not running, because they're frozen in Iowa. They're parked in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because they can't get them repaired. They've got no range. Carbon capture is the biggest financial fraud ever. Really, when you get into net zero and decarbonization, all it does is separate us from our money, makes energy and food more expensive. That hurts the least among us, and it doesn't do anything to mitigate a changing climate.
No.
You know, I can't just say these things without having done some research and run the models that the UN uses to justify the Paris Accord. But if the U.S. completely decarbonized by 2050, it would mean less than 1/10 of 1 degree difference by 2100. I think it was one of your senators that was asking someone the question, what is the benefit? And I knew the number. This person at the Department of Energy did not know the number. And your senator was rightly attacking them. I believe Senator Kennedy, committee. What's going to be the temperature differential? And there is none. It's absolutely
but it's the deal.
Nothing.
For you to act like we're going to know the difference of a temperature, we don't know what tomorrow the temperature is going to be. We really don't know what tonight the temperature. There'll be 1 to 8 degrees off tonight. And it's tonight. And they're trying to tell you what's going to happen in 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 years. By the way, all in predictions they made in the 70s and 80s, none of them have come true. But they keep let me tell you what else they've done which hurts us. Jason, I think you agree. If you watch the news now, every weather event is climate change. Every weather event becomes the making of a news story based on them convincing. And I'm convinced that the universities have warped our kids, not only with this, with a lot of stuff, but they're warping our kids that become grown adults that are believing in crazy.
You're absolutely right. Every channel's got like this climate crew that's out there. Oh, yeah. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize climate was measured in minutes. I thought it was measured in decades. But there is no correlation between man-made greenhouse gas emissions and temperature and climate change whatsoever. No. And we keep proving that over and over again, but that doesn't help control the narrative. The left wants you to believe that man is causing catastrophic climate crisis, and they want to control you. They want the COVID lockdowns. And people are begging the president every single day, you've got to declare a climate emergency so they can do a climate shutdown.
Yeah.
And that's what electric vehicles are all about, and controlling our food or energy production. It's keeping us locked down inside of our homes with no mobility and really transforming us to a poor country like we were a couple hundred years ago. So that's why the American Energy Institute, we're pushing back.
Yeah, the American Energy Institute is strong, and I'm glad y'all pushing back. By the way, what's a website people can go see what y'all stand for?
Yeah, AmericanEnergyInstitute.com. We are building a coalition of American energy producers that support free markets first and foremost, because you're right. Those carbon capture credits, direct payments, the subsidies, they are actually energy producers that believe in our energy industry here in this country that produce oil, gas, coal, nuclear, that don't want those handouts. The left screams, we've got to get rid of subsidies. Well, great. You guys are creating them. And companies are just chasing them to help their bottom line. Yep. And the return is you and I pay higher costs for everything.
It's no doubt about it. And I've seen it done here. We got a governor that's standing up for the energy. And there was an article today by this. I don't know where they pick up this, the dumb people they pick up to write. There's a guy named Bob Marshall. New government promises bad news for Louisiana environment, because he's an oil and gas guy. And these guys are talking about all these scientists. When you look at the World Economic Forum, they talk about these scientists. But they're talking about scientists that are on the government dole all over the world. By the way, don't you think that this whole carbon thing, just like COVID, probably messes up the United States more than any country? Because most of these countries couldn't stand up at all. It's COVID, I said, would hurt us more than anybody, and it did. And then I said, the climate change is a way to destroy America from within. But, Jason, there are not enough people believing what we're saying. They are absolutely destroying this country from within.
You are spot on. And just a few years ago, because of the shale revolution, producing more oil and gas in Texas and Louisiana and Colorado and New Mexico, the average family saved $2,500 a year. Today, that's been completely erased in 3 short years, paying an average of $5,200 a year more in energy costs alone. T. Boone Pickens talked about the greatest transfer of wealth in mankind, and that's because we were buying Saudi oil. And now we are right back into the greatest transfer of wealth of mankind, giving the Chinese. We are subsidizing communism by forcing solar panels and wind turbines that don't produce electricity when we need it, because that's all manufactured with components that come from China. Heck, we can't even build a fighter jet without over 900 pounds of metals from China. And that's absurd, because we have those here and we should be producing them here.
Yeah. Well, I had to get in touch with y'all one more time. I appreciate everything y'all doing at the American Energy Institute. I really do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You can find us at AmericanEnergyInstitute.com, or you can find me on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it this week at Isaac for Energy.
By the way, last question, World Economic Forum. They're not exactly friends of the United States, are they?
No, not at all. We need to defund the World Economic Forum. We need to defund the United Nations. They are anti-American, pro-China organizations that just don't care about our American prosperity and our way of life.
No, and they hate the good energy, which is oil and gas and coal.
Yes, they do.
Jason, anytime, you're always available.
Hey, thanks, man.
Always
Appreciate
welcome. Thank you, bud. All right, take a break. Folks here from Chuck Owen wrote a piece on how we need to get people outside the state to help us get where we need to be. Talk to him in just a minute. He's Representative Chuck Owens, who won his election big time. He drilled some chump. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company. Repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts. AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. 8202, or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Folks, you hear me brag about a new advertisement. South Star Urgent Care is the name you need to know. Listen, you look up in the middle of the night, you look at, God, where do we go? South Star Urgent Care. They open on weekends. They open at night. They can get you taken care of. If you're sick, if you're feeling bad, maybe you coughing, dehydrated, fever, flu, fractures, South Star Urgent Care wants to service you, and they're going to treat you like you want to be treated. They're going to get you in, get you out. You're not going to sit in a dark waiting room for a bunch of times. South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. You know, you can register before you go and set your appointment. Hey, it's really cool. These folks at South Star greet you with a genuine smile and make you feel very comfortable. Folks, you're looking for the perfect urgent care? It's South Star Urgent Care. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com. South Star Urgent Care. It's the urgent care you need. Go to SouthStarMoon.com, SouthStarMoon.com.
She's right. Hi, I'm Dale Brown, best-selling techno-thriller author. I'm also a mission pilot and squadron commander in the Civil Air Patrol. The members of the Civil Air Patrol are volunteer professionals who serve their communities and their nation every day with emergency services, aerospace education, and cadet programs. We train hard, we fly hard, and we get the job done for America. Join the Civil Air Patrol. Visit www.gocivilairpatrol.com and let's go flying.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a pleasure to be with you today on a beautiful Monday. It's rolling right through the day. Wow. Man, we're in February on Thursday. February 1st. Unbelievable. Flying by already. We're joined by Representative Chuck Owen. Chuck, how you doing?
Good morning, Moon. How are you?
Man, I am hanging in there despite me, sir. How about yourself?
All good. Had a good weekend.
Good. So you wrote an article in the Hayride. You're basically calling for, it looks like to me, it's calling for people from outside the state to come in and help us. I don't know if that's really what you were calling for, but let's talk a little bit about what you think we need to do to get the state head in the right direction.
Well, this is not a step in the right direction. This is a
Thank you.
This is a rocket sled in the right direction if people are willing to try. Look, I challenge you, Moon, and anybody wants to read this article, they'll go see it on the Hayride, and I'll put it somewhere else if people are offended by the Hayride. But find me a profession will tell you, man, I came to Louisiana and they let me come right to work. Man, I got there, I was an electrician or I was a plumber or I was a hair, and man, it was so easy to get my license. Find that. You won't find that. We have a history in this state, in my estimation, Moon, of making it hard for people to come here, and what old people call is hang a shingles. Mm-hmm. Go to work, start a business, or go to work for somebody.
Sure.
We love our restraint of trade. We love to make people jump through hoops. Oh, it's just 6 more months of training is all you need. What I think, Moon, is we need to adopt some models that other states have done that have actually worked, where we look at a profession or a skilled trade, like plumbers or electricians or whatever, doctors are included in this, that if you've been working successfully in another state and another state has given you a license and you've been working there for a year and you're in good state, you're in good standing, you're not suspended, then we're going to put you to work. Boom. Here's your license. It may cost you some money, but I don't want to harass them, Moon. We've got to stop harassing people who want to come here and to keep them out just because we think water runs differently in Louisiana.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think you're right on money. And this is not a step in the right direction. This is really big. This is gigantic. And that's what I said. But y'all, Chuck, what y'all fighting is you got a system here, locally and statewide. They don't want to change anything because it's the way we always did. Craig Romero, Moneybags, used to be a senator. Moneybags sat up there and looked at me. Moon, is how we always do it. This is how it's always is. And I'm thinking, that's the problem. Yeah. That's the problem.
You know, when you got a 1-9 high school team and you got a bad junior high program, the way you've always done it has not worked. And that's really where we are, Moon. We have never been right across the board in the state. Our food is always good. You know, we've always got good food. Sometimes our teams win, our festivals are good, but everything else has been a mess the entirety of our lives, and we know it. But, man, don't you try to let somebody come here and go to work. And I'm going to give you a great example. Remember 3 years ago we had the massive freeze?
Yep.
And everybody was getting those ice dams, and the pipes were bursting, and there was all that trouble. Texas had the same thing. You know what Texas did? Texas threw out the baby with the bathwater, and well, in a good way, and they said any licensed plumber in the country can come here and go to work immediately because they needed plumbers. You know what we did? Nothing. Nothing. And it's not just plumbers. It's hairdressers. It's hair braiders. It's florists. It's everything you can imagine. We have a board and an advisory council that will try to make it hard for you come to work because we're different. Well, we're not.
Well, you know,
we need to do things that'll work, and this is work.
One of the things you said in the article which caught my attention, and my pet peeve is a step in the right direction. You know why? Because I've heard it for 30 years. But at the end of the thing, you said now's the time for bold action. Steps in the right direction and continue to protect special groups and carve-outs are not the way to change the direction of the state, much less stem our significant population loss. But see, you got the media. They love to stay in the direction we in. They think Bill Edwards did a great job. They really do. They think our state's headed in the right direction when we know it's not. But anytime you go to make big changes, Chuck, you got the media, especially the devil's advocate. You've got the people locally, municipalities, don't change nothing. This is the way we like it. Somebody's benefiting from it, but not everybody.
Moon, 2 years ago, Stuart Cathy had a bill similar to this was floating along, and it got hung up in the Senate, and I was going to try to do it in the Senate. And, man, we got just completely steamrolled. I got calls from more legislators and more lobbyists than I've ever gotten in about a 3-minute. Once they hit the panic button, and all these special groups, grove pickers have a special license in Louisiana. People who pick fruit. We don't have much fruit in Louisiana, but, man, they had a lobbyist that came after us.
We don't have a lot of fruit. We ain't got a lot of fruit, but we got a lot of Fruit Loops.
We got some fruit cakes, baby.
We got some fruit cakes and Fruit Loops. And what I mean by that is people who don't want to change the state.
I think your friend Junk Mail Julie is the one who's going to run this.
Mm-hmm.
She tried this when she first came into legislature 9 years ago, and she got her legs swept out from her. I tried it. I've kind of had legs swept out of me a couple of times. But now with a new governor
tell people,
and a new group of legislators.
Tell people what y'all want to get passed, and then tell me why y'all getting knocked down, who's knocking y'all down, and how are they doing it? So what do you want to get done?
It's called universal license recognition, which basically means if you are a practicing professional or craftsman in another state and you're in good standing, we're not going to stop you from coming here. We don't think water runs uphill differently here than it does in another state. You know, we don't think hair and flowers are different here than in other states. We want people to come to work. And when the opposition stands up, I will tell you about it. I will tell you about it because the engineers will come, the veterinarians will come, everyone you can imagine will say, just leave us out of this because we're different. Our horses are different here. Our ground is different here. Everyone's going to have a reason, but that's all. A million carve-outs is what keeps us the way we are, and we've got to stop that. We've got to try. And look, I'm willing to do this for 3 years, and if the sky falls, we'll go back to it. We'll go back to 50 as opposed to.
So you're telling me all these entities that make a living here don't want anybody coming in on their living?
Oh, no. They want to fight to keep their little carve-out, and then the heck with everybody else.
And that's the way it's done here. That's the good old boy network.
Yep.
And it's a shame.
But if everyone has coddled this for the entirety of our lives, everyone has supported this. No, let's just keep this one separate. Let's keep that one separate. And as I said in the article, Moon, we did this 3 years ago for the spouses of military. I did this as a test case. So the spouses of military who come here, we universally accept their licenses for the last 4 years. And the sky has not fallen in Leesville, Bossier, or New Orleans. And so we need to do it for the whole state. every licensed professional except lawyer can come here and go to work immediately, basically.
Yeah. Well, I don't see
Now, hope
nothing
we can
wrong
get
with
it
it.
passed.
I just know what you do. Once again, as my good friend Jim Spillers used to tell me, Moon, every time you break a layer, there's going to be another one. That's exactly what you're seeing. So if we're not going to change anything, then expect to be last and begging the federal government for everything we get. That's basically what you're looking at.
So it is time to go fast. It's time to do something very different than we've ever done, and this is very different.
No doubt about it. So Chuck, so there'll be a bill on it. Let us know. Keep us up to date. Keep us up to date on what's going on. I like the article. I like the part. If we're going to take steps in the right direction, we're never, ever going to get Louisiana out of this. We're never going to stop our migration. So anyway, look, I got to run, brother. Thank you so much.
All right. You bet.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Bye.
All right, rest of you guys leaving us, God bless. Moongraphone.com. Listen live. Another hour to go.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
An ominous message. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's a warning just released by an Iran-backed militia after yesterday's drone attack on a base in Jordan where 3 U.S. soldiers were killed and more than 30 wounded. The 160th attack by Iranian proxies targeting U.S. forces since mid-October.
The Al-Nujayba Islamic Resistance Movement, one of Iran's Shia proxies in Iraq, called on U.S. troops to, quote, leave today before tomorrow, adding the, quote, the resistance fighters mock them. The U.S. killed a leader of the Nujayba group on January 4th in a drone strike in Baghdad. Iran's intelligence minister tried to deny his country's involvement in the attack on U.S. troops.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon, where Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is holding a previously scheduled meeting with the head of NATO.
Let me start with my outrage for the death of 3 brave U.S. troops in Jordan and for the other troops who were wounded.
He says he and President Biden won't tolerate attacks on U.S. forces. President Biden says the U.S. will respond. Some Republicans in Congress are skeptical after U.S. and U.K. strikes so far have not stopped Iran's proxies.
They are unleashing their militias not just on Israel, but on us and on global shipping through the Houthis, and they've gotten the message loud and clear that they can get away with it.
Florida Congressman Mike Waltz, a U.S. official, just confirming to Fox News a report that the drone used in Sunday's attack got past air defenses because it was mistaken for a U.S. drone due to return to base at the same time. The official also saying there's no evidence so far that Iran directed the attack. An arsenal of homemade weapons found in a New York City apartment. The Queens DA just announcing a 130-count indictment against 2 men, their brothers. Weapons seized include 6 ghost guns, homemade explosive devices, along with a hit list of police, politicians, and celebrities. America is listening to Fox News.
A massive data leak, being called the mother of all breaches, has been announced. Billions upon billions of records with sensitive data from previous breaches, newly stolen data, and privately sold databases have been exposed. Cybercriminals can use this information to commit identity theft. Help protect yourself and join the millions who trust LifeLock. LifeLock detects identity threats and alerts you if your information is being used. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. Save up to 25% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynavite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynavite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio. That's dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
15 years after a landmark equal pay proposal became law, President Biden is issuing new executive orders to reduce the gender pay gap.
More than 80 federal agencies will no longer consider current or past pay when determining salaries as part of a new rule laid out by the Office of Personnel Management. That policy is intended to end salary history in pay-setting decisions, which has been shown to keep pay lower for applicants with the same skills, experience, and expertise. President Biden's announcement coincides with the 15th anniversary of the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, the first legislation signed by President Obama. In a statement, President Biden says despite progress, women workers are still paid on average 84 cents for every dollar paid to men.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A man who confessed to stealing a pair of ruby slippers worn in The Wizard of Oz has just been spared jail time at his sentencing. Terry Martin is 76 and now in hospice care. The theft from a museum happened in 2005. A Russian figure skater is disqualified from the Winter Olympics retroactively, in effect, over doping allegations.
Nearly 2 years since the Winter Olympics were held in Beijing, the United States women's figure skating team stands to become gold medal winners in the team event, in which the U.S. had initially finished second behind Russia. Because then 15-year-old Russian Kamila Valieva had tested positive for a banned heart medication, but results not revealed until hours after she had skated in the team event, the International Olympic Committee then chose against a presentation of medals. After almost 2 years of legal battles, Monday, the Court of Arbitration for Sport determined that Russian skater Kamila Valieva was disqualified from the 2022 Winter Olympics for doping. Now Valieva, who turns 18 in April, will be banned until the end of 2025, less than 8 weeks before the next Winter Olympics in Italy. Jared Max, Fox News.
So in March, the IOC Executive Board could reallocate the medals from 2022. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.